Have you ever compared your vocal mix to commercial recordings? And if you did, what was your conclusion? Was it missing something? I'll tell you what my experience was. My vocals were a lot duller. And otherwise, it was missing that air and brilliance. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to get that nice top end in your vocal recording. So, let's get creative. Something that I used a lot while learning how to mix, and every now and then I still use them, are these two books. Mixing Secrets for the Small Studio and the Mixing Engineer's Handbook. And especially Mixing Secrets for the Small Studio is unbeatable if you ask me. Because you get a lot of free online content such as listening examples, extra explanations, assignments, and even video tutorials with every chapter. There's a link in the description if you want to check them out. Okay, so let's have a look and a listen to the project that we're going to be working with and the vocal that we're going to be working with. Do you feel the necessity? It's not your mess, conscience regain, but no remedy. Still you wonder. Okay, until here. As you can see, as you can hear, the vocal has already been processed with some reverb, EQ, delay and compression, and even some saturation. But what's missing is of course the top end, that extra brilliance. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add another track because I'm going to be doing parallel processing. Is I'm going to send from this, because this is my main vocal bus, and I'm going to send from that one to here. But I'm going to make it a pre-fader send. And that means that when the volume changes here, the signal will still be the same that goes to my track here. And that's going to be important for my processing afterwards, as you're going to see now. So my first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a compression. And I want to aim for about 6 dB gain reduction. And I want to have a short attack, so I'm going to do that first. Yeah, there we go. Not crazy short, but a little bit short. I want to have a medium fast release, right about here. And then I'm going to go for like an average ratio, so that's 3:1. Now, of course, we need to install the threshold. But first, to be able to do that, we need to listen to the vocal. It's not your mess, conscience regain, but no remedy. Still you wonder on. So as you can see, we're now more or less on 6 dB gain reduction, and we're not going to do any makeup gain. And I added this compression because I want the signal to be steady. I want the signal to be steady when it's loud, but also when it's soft. So that's why it's going to be rock solid. Now the next stop is adding an EQ. And what I'm going to do is something very simple. I'm going to use a high pass, so all the frequencies that are below this high pass filter will be taken out. And I'm going to take it up all the way to, let's say, 650, 600 Hertz. And that's that. And why I did that is because I don't want to process the low signals and also not the lower mids. So I want to filter them out. What you want to do now is you want to add an EQ that has a little bit of a character to it. And I'm going to use the vintage EQ from Ozone. I'm going to boost the high frequencies with a lot. And we're going to set it to 10K. And then I'm going to boost it. And you'll see what's going to happen here. There we go. And I'm going to narrow down the Q a little bit. There we go. Okay, so now let's just listen to this signal. So I'm going to solo this one. It's not your mess, conscience regain, but no remedy. Now, one next important step that we want to take is adding a de-esser. Because now with all these extra high frequencies, we also run the risk of the S's and so the sibilants to be accentuated. As you might know, the S frequencies, the sibilance frequencies are around 4K and above. So I'm going to set it until here more or less. It's not your mess, conscience regain. Okay, now I want to quickly listen to what the de-esser is hearing. It's not your mess, conscience regain. So as you can hear, the de-esser mostly catches the S's, and of course it catches some other frequencies, but probably they were too much then also. So now the S's will be a little bit softer. Now comes of course the last step, and this is mixing them or blending them together. It's not your mess, conscience regained, but no remedy. As you can also hear, we also have some volume difference, so we need to take that into account as well. So I want to take this volume knob down and blend it in accordingly. It's not your mess, conscience regained, but no remedy. Still you wander on. Is it passing, or has it got my side? So I like it here around -15. I think that's enough. And now let's hear what it sounds like in the full picture. It's not your mess, conscience regained, but no remedy. Still you wander on. Is it passing, or has it got my side? Love your soul, seeking and... So as you can see, I just added it a little bit because it should be a detail, you know, it should be just that extra dimension to your vocals. So just remember that I used parallel processing here, so that means on a different track, and you send it pre-fader, so that the volume changes on your original vocal track will not affect what is being sent to your extra channel. So it's quite simple, right? When you use this technique, I guarantee that your vocal mixes will benefit from it. And if you want to dive into more music production content like guitar sounds, ambient pads and whatnot, then check out this playlist. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And for now, see you next time.